Let's person.
Nice way to handcuff your opponent. First point of the match.
Something you want to see from Gauff is she has to use her serve effectively if she's going to keep a player like Linette off guard.
A
few of those don't hurt either. 3 points. Remember Coco Gauff's debut in the main draw here at the US Open a couple of years ago, when under such hype, scrutiny, she made it as far as the 3rd round, lost a tough one after drawing a tough opponent in the opening round a year ago in Anastasia Sevastova. And a service hold to love to start her US Open experience this year for Coco Gauff, and they'll change ends with Linette to serve at love 1. So key to the match, styles for these two players, and some things we should be looking for in this one.
For Coco Gauff, obviously, she is a player that has the capability to serve huge off the first serve, but it's what do we get if she's not consistent with the first serves? How is she going to respond with the second serves? The second serves have been the area that she struggled with most. A lot of leads the WTA in double faults this year, but has been serving better the last couple of months, where she's finding that middle ground on that second serve. So looking at that part of her game, you know the rest of her game is going to be good. The backhand is as sure as day. You know that side, she rarely has a hiccup. But strategically, you're playing a player in Linette who isn't necessarily going to hurt you off the ground. Gauff has more power, but Linette is not afraid of anyone out there, and she moves very well. She mixes things up. I expect to see her trying to mix things up and checking out how Gauff responds. Linette can slice the backhand. She has a very good drop shot off that backhand side, and she's going to look to make Gauff uncomfortable, keep her off balance.
Very successful summer here in the United States on the hard courts for Magda Linette. Made it to the quarterfinals at San Jose, and then the semifinals at Cleveland last week, with bookending a first-round exit at Montreal, but a couple of deep runs into 2 of the warm-up tournaments in the US Open Series to get to this point. A little deep. 40-15.
And with Coco Gauff, the things that you know she will compete every point. She is a fighter, no matter the score. You know that she is just focused, laser focused all the time. Her backhand, so consistent, so good. She moves so beautifully, covers the court.
Game, Linette.
Caught the line.
Yeah, and gets in a couple of aces that game. You look at the second serve and the forehand. The forehand for Coco Gauff, in my mind, is getting better. She's giving herself a little more margin on that side. Bigger swing. She's very far over on that grip, big Western grip, and sometimes as you have to adjust when you're especially on a quicker court, and you got that racket way over on the grip. That can be a trouble spot for a forehand.
15.
That's a great serve. 30 love.
13
Talked about
love.
making efficient use of her first serves for Gauff, taking advantage of that being such a key. And you know, power is a beautiful thing.
Well, we've already seen her at 118, and you look at the speeds, and for a women's serve, when you're getting, I remember the days when Venus and Serena first started playing with the, when we could measure the serve speeds, and we would see 114, 115, our jaws dropped. Gauff,
14-15.
she can, as we've seen already, we've seen a 118, we've seen a 115, but it's also, can you hit your spots? Can you hit your targets? If you're serving in the middle of the box fast, it doesn't have quite the impact that it does when you're hitting your spots and hitting that big.
Oh. Toss in a double there, and 40-30. We talked about Linette's summer on the hard courts in the U.S. Gauff made it to the quarterfinals at Montreal, fell in the second round at Cincinnati. We mentioned the disappointment of not being able to compete for the USA in the Olympics. Deuce.
Juice.
And you know, as far as career progress concerned, for the 17-year-old, made her first slam quarterfinal earlier this year at Roland Garros. Ran into a very hot player at the time, the eventual champion.
You talk about someone living with expectation, and that for a 17-year-old, wow, what a breakthrough getting to the quarters of the French, and it really was. But as that tournament was progressing and people started talking, maybe Gauff is going to be the one that gets through, but in the end it was Krejcikova that won that French Open. And it's who took out Gauff in that quarters.
So a bit of a nervous hold of serve there, but 2-1 in the first here in Armstrong. Third match of the day inside Louis Armstrong Stadium, featuring Coco Gauff and Magda Linette. We're on serve after 3 games, and the 29-year-old from Poland will serve here to try and keep pace.
Love 15.
Of course, Linette has had some success here in the New York area already in her career, though not on this particular site. One of her 2 titles in her WTA career came across town in the Bronx a couple of years ago.
She did it in the Bronx and played some really good tennis. And you just saw that last forehand of Gauff's missing by a huge margin. Your Linette, you take note of that. And that's the shot that Gauff needs to find the range with. And look who's in the stands. Well, on the far right is her coach, David Selt, but next to him, one of the good ones, Aga Radwanska.
Good to see her back here in New York at the Open.
And that's her husband.
Strange not to see her coming out of the tunnel after all those years, but certainly got a rooting interest in this one.
But you know, there's talk that maybe, you know, she's hanging around. Maybe
not done yet.
She's there. We don't know. We don't know. It would sure be fun to see her back. She's a mother now, and what a game! One of the more fun players there was to watch in tennis was Raducanu.
Had the opportunity, missed that one long. Yeah, there seemed like there was no ball out of her reach, ever.
Well, Raducanu couldn't knock you over with power, but what she did with improvisation and those hands, and she'd play points, and you would just say, well, you were just Raducanu. Nobody did it like she did.
There's a chance here for Gauff to gain an early advantage. Hit that long, and it's deuce.
And you're still a couple games in. You're still getting your bearings. Back out here on Armstrong with a crowd.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's great for these players, and
yes.
And you can already see them feeding off of it.
It's been part of the fun has been kind of getting back to that old energy of hearing the roars from the other courts come washing across and grabbing a look at the scoreboard. Where'd that come from and why?
Yeah.
And seeing the people out in the plaza looking up and seeing the scores, and then, okay, we got to head to this court now because this is happening.
Well, if you're a fan, I've always said there's nothing like the first couple of days of a slam because you can see it all and you can get up close and you can see the players much more closely.
Oh, nice shot.
And that's her movement, Gauff, and making up for a couple of bad errors off the forehand side with the backhand there. Off court, from the extremes of the court, she moves so well and just gets in wonderful position. Takes care of that one.
Wow. Just caught the line.
Watch, look at how she's holding that racket. That's how far over she is on the grip for the forehand. Gauff. And that's extreme. That is an extreme grip. So wonderfully disguised, and that's the key, especially if you're hitting drop shots on a hard court.
Advantage.
Is you want to hit it when a player's not expecting it, and Linette certainly not expecting that from Gauff there. So well executed.
Yeah, see the opponent 4 or 5 feet behind the baseline, and while you're coming into the net. So again, another break point chance for Gauff, and on a second serve now too. And another couldn't convert on. So a couple opportunities have been there for Gauff to get an early advantage in this match.
And that's a serve. When that sits up like that serve just did, you need that forward motion, and Gauff just feeling her way into this right now. Those are opportunities you don't want to miss.
So a third break opportunity here for the young American in what has turned into a very lengthy fourth game of this opening set. take advantage of that. So Linette with some good fight here to try and stay in this service game.
And the forehand of Gauff just not finding the range right now. She is struggling on this side. And the one thing that I had been impressed with her this year, and where it comes to the forehand, she had been giving it more air, giving herself a little more margin, a little more spin. And when she was playing on the clay, she had a very good clay court season. Got to the semis of the Italian, quarters of the French. You have more time on the red clay, and gave that ball more air.
All credit to Magda Linette. Saves 3 break points. Pulls Gauff off the court on the forehand and puts the winner away. And we are at 2 games apiece in this opening set here inside Louis Armstrong, as the 29-year-old from Poland hangs on and saves her serve. Quick reminder that usopen.org is your online home for point-by-point live scoring, highlights, real-time stats, and draws. The official tournament site is usopen.org. 2 apiece, Gauff serving.
Really nice 1-2 punch. Talk about hitting your targets, hitting your spots, and that first serve, short and wide in that deuce court, set up the forehand.
Solid.
15-all.
Well, there you see Gauff trying to find that middle ground with her forehand. She's been overhitting it and trying to take a little bit off, but you take a little bit off, and someone like Linette, with all her experience, is going to look to capitalize.
Just missed.
30-15.
Thought Linette had one to jump on there and almost made it pay. You know, Linette's not going to overpower you with her game, but she will make you play the extra ball and make you keep running.
And she's got enough pop. She doesn't have knock you over power, but she's got enough pop that when it presents itself, she can play aggressively.
That was going to be one of those, if Gauff had managed to keep that point going, that you'd scratch your head and say, how'd she do that? But good play by Linette.
You've got 2 players out here that both move exceptionally well, cover a lot of court. And again, hitting her spot out wide. And nothing you're going to do when your opponent can serve you out wide, short in the court.
They come back with a good solid one right up the tee at 119 miles an hour. And so Coco Gauff holds serve there. We are on serve at 3-2 in the first inside Louis Armstrong Stadium. What a beautiful scene. Tennis fans on the grounds at the U.S. Open. Boy, we missed it a year ago. And that is the exterior of Louis Armstrong Stadium. Beautiful new facility. They started working on that right after the 2016 tournament. concluded. Brought the old historic stadium down, put that beautiful new structure up in its place, and inside is where we are with Magda Linette serving here. On serve in the first set against Coco Gauff in their opening round match.
Best rally we've seen off the forehand side from Coco Gauff.
Had a little trouble finding the range so far in the match on that forehand side. Yeah, he talked about Linette being able to cover a lot of ground. Did.
Yep, and that's a veteran move. Got that first serve in, and she was just looking for the short ball and just moved into that beautifully.
Talked about this stadium just being a few years old. There. It's designed for the air to move through it naturally, not to have an air conditioning system or anything like that. So sometimes the wind down on the playing surface is a little more pronounced than you might think just by looking at the top of the stadium.
And you can see it by the play. You saw that you could see the skirts and,
yes.
and what was going on, and then you can also see from the play that couple balls spraying, getting used to that, the bit of the swirling of the wind. When they added the roof on Arthur Ashe, what used to be a swirling wind on Ashe kind of went away.
Mm-hmm. A chance for a break here again for Gauff. Linette so far, though, has saved all 3 break points that she has exposed herself to. Great shot.
And when they were all waving to the camera, except there was one kid. She was watching. She's like, wait a minute, Coco's got a 4th break point. That's what I'm focusing on. You know, can she get the break when she's got her 4th chance?
And the answer was no.
Well, you're living dangerously when you get down in your service games and you face all those break points, and when you're not a player that has a huge first serve that gets you out of trouble. But for Linette here, done a nice job so far.
Oh, wow. Just caught a couple of spots of paint to keep the point alive and to finish it off. That one to set it up, and this one to finish it.
Well, it was a good return from Gauff, but once she got that short forehand, she took care of it.
So 3-all. Linette now having faced and saved 4 break points, and Gauff serving here.
love.
Loose shot there. Gauff has now played in 8 prior Grand Slams, 7-1 in those opening round matches. The one loss being the one here a year ago that I mentioned previously to Sevastova.
7-1 at 17.
Yeah.
Think about that. Just really impressive. And especially in today's game. If it was 15 years ago, you'd say, ah, 17-year-old. 15, 20 years ago, we see teenagers doing so well young. But today, as you look at Corey, her father and coach, today's game where we've seen that players are playing longer and with the reduced schedule that players have to play as they're from 14, 15, 16. At 18, you can play that full schedule. And take a look at Tony Gotzik. Roger's not here, but you know what? He's got another prize in Coco Gauff that he represents.
Well,
Linette is going to give herself a look at a break point here after that.
Well, again, just too short off of that forehand from Gauff. But how nice that you can depend on that you've got that in your arsenal, that you're down a break point, you've been struggling on one side, that's the forehand, but you can hit it 120 and get yourself out of the trouble.
Gauff.
Break point saved there for Gauff. And dropping 72% of her first serves in play. Still winning 4 of 7%. 4 of 7 of the second serves when she's had to play the second ball, as she will here. Break point saved. Service held. We will play an 8th game in this opening set on serve between Gauff and Linette with some new tennis balls. Tough that 3 American players and 3 of the more, I'll call it better known American players in the women's draw all end up squaring off in one way or the other in these first 2 rounds. One Stevens or Keys eliminated in the opener, and the winner ostensibly to face Gauff should she get through this one. But that's why it's a draw. It's, you know, I mean, and think about it. When Madison Keys and Sloane Stevens saw the results of that first round draw, what they must have thought, you know, like, are you kidding me?
Of course.
Yeah.
As did everyone else when they saw it, when it came out.
Yeah.
And you saw Georgie and Halep in the first round.
That was
the
when
same thing.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to see that when I was doing a men's match over at Court 17, but I thought to myself, oh, that's one I'd like to see too.
Gauff kept herself in that point.
When she was
Doesn't matter how.
Yeah, she was expecting that ball to go long, I think. And now an opportunity here at love 30.
Well, improvisation with the little slice forehand.
$15.38. Talked about Georgie and Halep. Of course, you know, Camila Giorgi winning in Montreal, so everybody's, you know, And then who knew what kind of form we were going to get out of Simona Halep, because we haven't seen her in a while. But Halep went through in that one earlier today in straight sets. Forehand again from the near court, long at the far end, and it's 30-all. Remember, all electronic line calling this year, so you're getting a look at the close call replay that's shown.
We certainly have lost the drama of the challenges, but so when you at least it's a close call, but no cigars.
Keeps it moving forward.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Said earlier, Elise, you said, you know, you keep giving Gauff looks at break points. Well, here's another look at a break point for Gauff. Linette has saved all of the 4 she's yielded a look at so far, but odds are the more chances you give, at some point you're going to convert. Not that one though.
And that's just so frustrating because it wasn't that big a serve from Linette. And Gauff knows she has to make her play. Can't give her the freebie.
Wide.
A really nice job from Gauff. That was a good wide first serve, and for Linette, you almost see that open court and went for too much on that. Didn't need to go for so much, and facing another break chance for Gauff. Got to make her play here.
Coverage, but just not enough. Linette able to create offense and do just enough to stay in this game.
She seems calm, but her heart has to be just pounding after a point like that, where Gauff made her hit a couple of extra shots. Did it with her speed. Well done from Linette. So now's the time. Take a little time. I would go get my towel. I would take a second and just regroup and just give myself a couple extra seconds. But gets right back to it. Let's see if she can get this break again. Break chance again.
Linette's been struggling to win her second serve points in the match so far. And double faults there, and so Coco Gauff will get the first break of the match, and it puts her a game away from taking this first set. 5 games to 3 for the American now. Pretty tough time to have a double fault.
Well, it just starts weighing on you. You've saved all these break points, and you're constantly battling not only your opponent but yourself, because you're getting down in these games, and and having to fight back, and it just manifested itself with that double fault. And now for Gauff, her reward serving for the set. Doesn't always have to be pretty.
Yeah.
You just have to get the job done.
Love 50.
And that's her second double fault for Coco Gauff. That second serve kind of gave it a little extra spin. Got the short reply, and like how much margin she gave herself, and you can just see it in the slow-mo. Didn't aim for the sideline, gave herself margin over the net.
And then led the cheers.
Yes. Well, you see what Linette was doing there, just going for that Gauff forehand.
15-30.
Those two traded cross courts. Gauff changed things up, and Linette went right back to the forehand, going down the line.
Only 5 winners to 14 unforced errors in this set so far for Gauff. 9-12 for Linette.
Oh, that's so nice.
30.
And one of the things that I really like about Gauff's game is that she's just worked on the nuances of completing her game. She can volley very well. She moves forward well. We haven't seen her at the net in this match yet, but she's learned how to come in. She volleys correctly. That drop shot was beautifully executed.
Let's serve.
Gauff was behind the 8-ball that entire point, but it's so
40.
nice to have wheels, because she certainly made Linette hit the extra ball.
Or 3.
Exactly.
And now Linette gets a chance to try and get that break she gave up right back and keep this first set alive. 30-40. The break regained. So the two players trade service breaks late in this opening set, and Linette will play on at 4-5 here in Armstrong. And Gauff always on the somewhat awkward other end of that medical timeout, trying to stay loose, stay warm, keep your mind in the game.
And you have to make the assumption that she's fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I don't, it's just something obviously bothering her. And when you serve and she is landing on that right ankle, and that's where you can feel the most pain. It's right here when you land.
Had the ability to catch up to that one, but a little uncomfortable look on the face when she turned back around
15
this
love.
way.
Well, was that Gauff testing her? Maybe, but that was not the drop shot she wanted to hit. And Gauff, I think, now knows that Linette's movement is not hampered.
Love.
13
Yeah,
love.
players have all kinds of ways of thinking about that, right? Okay, let's see. Let's see how you can run. Let's see if I can find a way. And you have to be careful not to take yourself out of your own game trying to find that out.
It was one of two things. Either she was trying to test her movement, or it was a little bit of a nervous type of a response after the break.
Yeah.
You've served for the set, couldn't get it done.
It just wasn't a really well executed shot.
And that too.
Yeah.
Well, neither one of these players has found that wonderful rhythm that as a player you want to find, where you're just dialed in on your groundies and you're not gonna miss, and we don't see that from either end. I mean, we could get there, but just haven't gotten it yet.
Is it nerves? Nervous tennis? Tight?
It's a combination of, sometimes you just don't have it.
Yeah.
And you just got to fight your way through. And what they're both doing is they're both fighting. And, I think the player that comes out that wins this first set has a bit of an advantage. But for Gauff, she knows I'm not playing close to my best, and I'm still up 5-4. If she finds that range, she's got a little more fire. She's got more firepower than Linette.
Mm-hmm.
You give her the advantage.
She's 2 points away from the set if she can win two. Linette just able to stay in place and make Gauff run.
You see where they are in the court. Gauff so far pushed so far behind that baseline, just scrambling. Doesn't have the confidence, Gauff, that she can just step in and just go after her shots right now.
So game Linette and 5-all in this opening set. So fending off a given up break that put her down 3-5, coming back to 4-5 with a service break of her own and then consolidating for 5-all. And now the pressure swings back to the other side of the net to Coco Gauff here, serving in the 11th game of this opening set.
And sometimes when you're not playing your best tennis, you try to bluff your way through. And for Gauff, at the moment, that's a little bit of what's going on. You know she's going to fight. You know she's just going to stay as competitive as can be. But far from her best tennis.
Gauff also entered in the doubles competition, which will begin later in the week here. Teamed up with her usual partner McNally. Linette also playing doubles with Bernarda Pera of the United States. They will play also on Wednesday, although they've drawn kind of a tough opening match. They drew the second seeds, Krejcikova and Siniakova.
The Olympic gold medalists.
Yeah.
15-30.
And now this is
Moment of peril here.
Yep, time where Gauff, love 15, got the big first serve in. She could use that now.
Good look at how some of the air currents swirl a little bit inside Louis Armstrong Stadium. So a couple of break points here for Linette at 15-40.
Late.
And so another break of Gauff's serve for the 29-year-old from Poland, and she will have a chance to serve for this opening set in just a minute.
The crowd is looking they're looking to get behind Gauff.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because on the tip of my tongue was the thought that I expected this to be a little more of a raucous atmosphere, but you could feel the tension in the building.
But the points aren't giving, you know, the points have to give it to you, and they're just not. They're not yet. You know, I think everyone's just waiting.
So Magda Linette serving here for the first set. Goes up 15-love quickly. First meeting between these two players. And hits that with some authority. 30-love.
30-love.
Well, the return just not hit with conviction. And for Linette, that's just easy pickings. That's short in the court.
Oh! Another errant return, and a few set points in hand here now for Magda Linette as we hit the 1 hour mark inside Louis Armstrong Stadium. Here it is. What a turnaround at the end of this first set for Magda Linette, the 29-year-old from Poland, who takes the first set in 1 hour and 1 minute, 7-5 over Coco Gauff. So ready to begin the second set here at Louis Armstrong Stadium. Gauff serving, now needing to send this to distance.
Love 15.
And double fault, not the right way you want to start the second set. So something, somehow, someone needing to find a way to shake up the game of Gauff here. Kind of in a bit of a slumber.
15 all.
When you're struggling on with one shot, well, let's say it's the forehand, how do you compartmentalize that and don't let it affect the rest of your game? And then that's not easy to do. And we especially on the women's game, we've seen some players who are very good at compartmentalizing something, a struggle. But here for Gauff, it's been the forehand, and she's talked about her second serve, and she is so honest, and she likened some of her second serve difficulties at times with what Simone Biles went to. She said, well, it's kind of like the twisties.
Yeah. That's long.
It's the twisties. We all learned that term during the Olympics. The twisties, for a gymnast is dangerous. That version for a tennis player, it's not dangerous, but you just have lost confidence.
It's damaging. There's one great point saved. Dropping a couple more aces in the box would not hurt a thing for Gauff. Two great serves there to save 2 great points.
And listen, you talked about the crowd, and listen to that crowd. They are just itching. They are itching to get involved in this. And if Coco gives them something, they are gonna pick her up.
Three great serves in a row.
Gauff.
And there is our colleague and friend, Katrina Adams, who does it all. Author, former USTA president, player, commentator.
That just missed from Gauff. Double fault there, and it's deuce.
So, you talk about momentum. Here she hit a couple of those big first serves, and then she's thrown in the double faults. And then you're Gauff, and you're thinking, well, do I go for the big first serve, or do I take something off?
Oh, boy. What a point from Linette.
Well, it was a bit of a
both
bluff.
players.
Yeah, well, that
Advantage.
Gauff came in on a bit of a bluff here, but she's such a wonderful athlete. Look at her balance, that she even kept herself in this.
Third break point, got it done for Magda Linette, and she opens this second set with a break of Coco Gauff's serve. And so now the young American finds herself down a set and a break in her opening match at this US Open. This crowd ready to try and get behind the 17-year-old from Delray Beach, Florida, but finds herself down a set and a break here as Linette serves to try and consolidate
15 love.
That's a great serve from Linette.
13 love.
And you have to say that her confidence is building on that side of the net, and building and building and building.
Well, you went into this match and you knew what Linette would give you. She's going to give you, for the most part, consistency. She's a veteran. She's been playing very well, just got to the semis in Cleveland. She fears no one. And she has other ones in her box.
Yeah.
So.
Right now she's got the upper hand in this one. Sometimes you need all your luck.
Yep, and Gauff is certainly going to take that, and you need that kind of help when you're struggling. You know that we've seen enough of Coco Gauff to know that her mind is swirling. She's in her mind. She's trying to figure out a way out of this. How can I get myself out of this? How can I get myself to play better?
Linette with the wide serve and the ball behind to put herself within reach of a 2-0 lead early in this second set. And there it is. So the consolidation of the opening game service break, and Magda Linette with a set and a break lead on Coco Gauff here at Louis Armstrong Stadium.
And I think we can't forget, you think about Coco's summer, and yep. COVID is in the mix there, and had some remnants.
I mentioned earlier that Gauff testing positive, had to skip the Tokyo Olympic Games, which she very much wanted to participate in. Came back, played and went through to the quarterfinals at Montreal. Fell in the second round at Cincinnati. And now here in New York City has some work to do. Certainly after having that left foot and ankle taped up, haven't seen any further ill signs of struggle for Linette. Seems to be moving well.
There's some of the power from Gauff, and you're looking for those signs, and that's a good sign there, where she stepped into that backhand. And stepped in and imposed herself. That's one of the things we just haven't seen from Gauff today. Something she's capable of imposing her will on an opponent.
Nice.
40-30.
Dealt with the ball off the tape and still found a way to put it right in the corner.
And you watch her shot production, Linette. She gives herself, she's got margin on her groundies. Hits with that bit of spin.
So Coco Gauff on the board in this second set, but a nervous moment there for sure.
Well, she's thinking, she's trying to figure things out.
Here inside Louis Armstrong Stadium, we're in the second set of our first round, first day play, as Poland's Magda Linette took the first set off of United States Coco Gauff 7-5, got a break in the opening game of the second set, and now serves here at 2-1, trying to edge away from the American and see if she can get a spot in the second round. A year ago here at the US Open, Linette went through to the third round before being knocked out. It's funny seeing Aga Radwanska in her player's box, because in the second round in 2015, the two of them met here.
Yes. Coco needs to be thinking, all right, if you're going to give me a little bit of help, and that's what Linette's done right now. Coco winning the last game, kind of bluffed her way into net, but held serve, and now Linette giving her 2 consecutive points.
Wow.
Well, that wasn't easy.
15-30.
That approach from Gauff. Deep in the court, Linette behind the baseline finds that angle.
Wow, that must have just caught a piece of the line. Oh.
You just can't build momentum, and you're looking for little signs. Could this game been a sign of Gauff starting to build some momentums, and the unforced error tally just keeps growing and growing for Gauff, most off the forehand side.
Waiting for someone who was moving behind the players to settle down. Yeah, 10 winners to 27 unforced for Gauff, 18 winners to 19 unforced for Linette.
There you go.
13-40.
There was no hesitation with that forehand. She hit through that ball. She stepped in.
Has created a chance with a break point. in 8 opportunities, and Gauff gets the service break. And we are at 2 games all in this second set after Linette won the first 7-5.
You feel like she won the set. You know, getting that break back, and we'll see if this is the momentum switch. If Gauff will just loosen up and allow herself to play, and that may be just what she needed.
And a quick reminder, you can stay connected to the US Open on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Join the conversation with hashtag US Open. So 2 apiece in this second set. The stress in the parents, coaches box. Too long. 15 all.
15 all.
Yes, this is a building we expected to kind of be a little raucous for this match this afternoon, and it's just kind of got this this nervous energy inside it. And of course, you know, a player will feed off of that too, just like they'll feed off the support from the crowd and the energy. They'll feed off the nervous energy too when things maybe aren't going so well. Linette continues to grind away, make Gauff work for every point and every shot, really. I mean, I think it's fair. You know, you can look at the tracker on such things later, but Gauff has done far more running and moving in this than Linette has.
Well, you're right about that, and this just such a critical game for Gauff. Gets that break back, starts to build a tiny bit of momentum, and just out of sorts. I mean, her mind, it's just, you just know that it's just racing.
Break point saved. As tentative as this match has been, a service hold here would be a huge thing for Gauff. Well done.
Advantage, Linette.
Well, Linette's played like a veteran, a cagey veteran. Anything short, she takes care of. You know, these past couple of big first serves from Gauff have been something that's been missing from her from her arsenal. The free points we expected coming into this match, that Gauff would get plenty of free points, that she'd be the one dictating.
Wow, what an angle from Linette.
But as you aptly pointed out, it's Gauff that's doing the running, that's doing the chasing. just doesn't have the pace on her shots or the confidence in it to go for more. And Linette, she knows when to strike.
So another chance to get that break back and edge closer to the finish line. Not converted. 1 of 6 on break point chances in this second set for Linette. She said, I have to do better.
Maybe a little bit of a frustrated backhand there from Linette.
Points saved for Coco Gauff.
Leads by 3 games to 2. Second set. Third set.
And she levels herself in this second set on serve at 3-2. I dare say the intensity building at Louis Armstrong Stadium. Coco Gauff, certainly one of the fan favorites for the home crowd, has been walking the fine line and has managed to rally back in this second set after losing the first. And Magda Linette now will serve at 2-3. Too long. So what's the answer from either player here? For Gauff, can she use that to build a little momentum? Can Linette answer back? Keep the crowd out of it, which she's done a great job of so far.
You look at this match, and Linette has done what she's needed to do to get her to this point. Gauff served for that first set, couldn't get it done. Linette just hanging around, playing her consistent, for the most part, veteran type of tennis. Gets up the break. Oh. And if you're Linette, you've got to be thinking, well, my opponent not playing well. At some point, she's probably going to pick things up. And for Magda, she's got to keep her mind and her tennis at a very high level.
Too long. 15:30. Yeah, if you're worried too much about wants to have a look at the electronic line call. Not going to change anything.
Yeah, and it wasn't even close, and that shows a little sign of nerves that there's there's just a tiny change of momentum here.
Yep.
15:30.
And you sense that she's just started to press that little bit the last game and a half.
Oh. First double fault of this second set, third of the match. And suddenly a couple of break points here for Coco Gauff to try and take command of the set.
Let's. Second serve.
Oh my.
Game goal.
And Coco Gauff gets a break back. Goes up
leads by
4 games to 2
Second
in this
set.
second set. And suddenly the momentum has completely shifted inside this building.
And in that Coco Gauff box, I think we just got a little glimpse of basketball star Steve Nash peeking in. And
And basketball coach Steve Nash.
well, that's true too. Yeah, I should say former
15
player star and coach.
Well, he's kind of a big deal in these parts still, wearing that coach's uniform.
Well, Gauff has raised her level just that slight bit, and my has Linette blinked.
Got it. And no doubt not by much. Yeah, 4 or 5 inches to spare. Plenty of margin. Yeah, she may have blinked, but she keeps grinding for Linette.
This whole thing, I think one thing is for sure, it's an adventure.
Yeah.
You don't know. You just don't know. Is this now the time that Gauff is going to just take hold of this match?
That's some help.
30.
And Linette knows it. It was right there. So 30 all. On a day when we've not seen Coco Gauff play the best tennis that we've ever seen from her, she's hanging in and found a way into this second set. Missed.
30-40.
And a break chance here for Linette.
Let's. Vessel.
It's Linette there, went to that slice on the forehand, and Gauff seized on that opportunity. Short ball to the backhand, confidently going after that. Hit the spot on the first serve,
Go.
out wide.
So after saving the break point, a chance here to gain a double break advantage. Hold that double break advantage for Coco Gauff, and it is 5-2 in this second set.
First set, Linette.
Good reason for the box to be on its feet. And for Gauff here, opportunity to send it to a decider. But not on that point.
15 love.
Both players have been tentative at times. Both players have looked sharp. Not as much as they've looked tentative.
And if you're Linette, you got to be thinking, well, this is really just one break of serve. 5-2 looks big on the scoreboard.
Love.
Her job right now, Linette, you hold and you make Gauff serve it out.
Much like the story of Gauff in the first set, having many looks at a break point and not converting, Linette's done the same in this second on the Gauff serve.
14 love.
Some star power. Look at Stan Smith in the crowd.
Service hold to love for Magda Linette, and so it is 5-3. Gauff will serve to try and close the second set and send it to a decider. So the 48th ranked player in the world saying not so fast in this second set. So can Gauff close this out and send it to a deciding set?
Nice kick on that serve. For Gauff, one of her better second serves of the match.
Love. 2 points away.
She certainly will be thrilled, Gauff, if she doesn't have to hit a second ball.
So 3 set points for the American to send us on to a third.
Maybe went to the well one time too many there.
14-15.
Got to look at 2 more.
Missed that a little long. The second set goes to Coco Gauff. We will play a third and deciding set here in Armstrong. 6-3 the second set in 41 minutes for the American. Players are back on the court, and we are ready after some 9.5 minutes to start this third and deciding set at Louis Armstrong Stadium. Opening round match of the U.S. Open. Magda Linette of Poland won the first set 7-5. Coco Gauff of the United States won the second 6-3. Linette serves to open the decider. Rally of the match, it felt like.
Love 50.
Well, after 10 minutes, you think they both have had time to regroup.
Yeah.
After two topsy-turvy sets, and maybe we're going to see the high-quality tennis that this match deserves.
So Coco Gauff has played 18 three-set matches in this 2021 season. She's 12-6 in those matches, although she has lost the last two. Here at the U.S. Open, this is her fourth three-set match. She's 2-1 in her brief career here. And for Magda Linette in 2021, this is her 13th three-set match. She is 2-10. Her most recent victory in a three-set match was at Wimbledon when she defeated Amanda Anisimova. However, at the U.S. Open, her sixth now three-set match. She's 2-3. Both victories coming the last two times she played a three-setter here. So make of all those numbers what you will.
Exactly. I'm computing.
Are there advantages to be seen? Well, maybe, maybe not. Every day's a new day. Opportunity here opening this third set for Gauff after the long rally again.
And even, oh my gosh, I just had my 15 seconds.
Yes.
What a wonderful reaction. And for Gauff, hitting the ball much better than we've seen the entire match.
Not able to convert.
No, Gauff with her incredible movement. Can she put up that wall? That you know, there are those players that move so well that can put up a wall of consistency. Something that a Sloane Stephens can do, where you just get the feeling, how do I get the ball by this person?
That's one way. With a very effective outside serve.
True. But that wall of consistency where you're not going to miss, and it's so hard to get it by you because you cover so much ground. Venus Williams in her prime. I remember watching those matches, Davenport and Venus and Lindsay, who was just one of the great strikers of the ball. It would be, how do I find an opening?
Certainly in the third and deciding set, want to be the one to grab the momentum early and cause some doubt. Linette saved the one break point here, but still serving at deuce. Oh!
Finding the range.
Advantage. Gauff.
With those groundies, especially the forehand, and that last first serve of Linette's missed by a country mile.
So a second chance to gain an early advantage. You see the breakpoint conversion rate hasn't been the best for both players in this match. So to open the third and deciding set, Coco Gauff gets the break of serve. She'll have a chance to try and consolidate and gain an early lead over Magda Linette in this decider. A little bit more focused energy in that opening game. In the defense by Gauff, it felt like.
Absolutely, and you're finding the range more, especially off the forehand side. And if she can find, and when you find some more consistency, then your confidence grows. And somehow she got herself out of that second set. I know that it was a 6-3 score line, but down the set, down the break, you didn't think at that time that she was going to find a way. But that's Coco Gauff. Always fights. Never giving up.
15 minutes.
And turn this match around, and now she's the one up the break in the driver's seat. The somewhat steadiness that we saw from Linette. When Linette was down in that first set, she steadied herself up, took the first set, took advantage of the Gauff mistakes, but she's not staying in these rallies long enough.
14.
Didn't get much of a chance to stay in that one. So sporty love for Gauff.
118 miles an hour. And she's feeling it now.
And another solid serve and a service hold to love. 2 games to love for Coco Gauff in this third and deciding set. Winner of this one gets Sloane Stevens tomorrow. Excuse me, in 2 days' time in the second round. Stevens a winner in a third set tiebreak over Madison Keys earlier today to open the day inside Arthur Ashe Stadium. So big service game here for Linette to stay in the match.
And right now, Linette, whether she's just, it's just frustration where she felt like she was up the set, up the break, and in control, and just lost it. And she'd better regroup, or they're going to be shaking hands in a couple of minutes.
And for a match that felt like it had very little momentum in any direction for a long time, for much of the last 2 hours, it's very much rolling one way right now. little long from Gauff.
15.
Saw her moving around just a little bit, trying to anticipate the placement of that serve. Again, energy, showing a little more energy.
And for Linette, it's got to be back to basics.
30-15.
And he starts with that first serve. That first serve out wide, and it sets up the backhand. Has been a go-to for her in this match.
$14-15.
Good depth.
14-30.
Well, Gauff allowing herself to breathe now, and just was so tight for a set and a half. And now we're seeing more of what she's capable of. That's the hole I was talking about.
Yep.
That was where
Juice.
you know she's not going to miss, and where are you going to find an opening, because she can smother that baseline with her speed. And if you're an opponent, you're forced to go for more than you'd want to.
Maybe one of the most pressure-filled points or moments of this match right here for Magda Linette.
Gauff moving around a little bit. That mentality now. I am not going to miss, and I know that you're feeling it. You're feeling that pressure.
I thought Linette had control of that point for just a second. And now it is Gauff with a chance for another break.
You see it there from Linette, missing that volley.
Talk about an unforced error into the net to give up the service break, and Coco Gauff is up 3 games to love. And the racket is destroyed for Linette.
No violation, racket abuse, warning, Miss Linette.
And we see the racket abuse warning for Linette, and she needed to get that out.
Yes.
Because she just became a bundle of nerves. And it just manifested itself. You could see it coming. Missing serves, first serves by a wide margin. And then you knew she was going to be tight that last point, and should have been a gimme. But nothing's a gimme when you're tight as a drum. And maybe that just racket break will just get that out of her, and she can loosen up a bit. But the momentum switch is in terms of just feeling nerves and feeling pressure, and you felt that midway through that first set that Gauff just started feeling it and couldn't find any rhythm. And then it turned on a dime, and Linette started missing, and Gauff just slowly worked her way back into it, and then now it's just cruising one way. It's a funny game, this tennis thing.
Just thinking back, I'm just looking at some of my notes from that second set, saying, okay, what was the moment? What was the point? Errant shot there from Linette. And it wasn't really a single moment or a single point, but remember that Gauff got broken to start the second serve and then came back after being down, love 2. Got a break for 2 to go 2-2, consolidated for 3-2, got a break again for 4-2. So the level in the middle of that second set for Linette and Gauff went the opposite way.
30.
There was a real recognition for Gauff that, okay, her level has dropped. It dropped for Linette. It dropped out of nowhere, and Gauff was aware enough to take advantage, and now finding her best tennis when she needs it in a third set. And you looked at we talked about, and you pointed out the third set records certainly favor Coco Gauff.
Yeah.
Played a lot of them this year, and she's a fighter, and that's the one thing that you know going into any match against Coco Gauff, she is never giving up.
And closes out with the ace. 4 games to love in the third and deciding set for Coco Gauff, and the energy is in the building.
And we talk about with Gauff all of her great physical attributes, an incredible athlete. Got the natural power, can hit a first serve at 122.
Don't forget, you can download and check out the US Open app for all the scores and stats and things. Follow along in the tournament. It's my constant companion for 2 weeks here. Make it yours.
15 love.
A moment of credit also to the big roar that you heard just a minute ago. Andy Murray and Stefanos Tsitsipas just got ready to start the 5th set over inside Arthur Ashe Stadium as the match clock turned to an even 4 hours. And we were watching Murray kind of on a replay waving his arms to the crowd, make some noise, and they did respond. So that's what we were hearing there a minute ago. I wondered what the roar was about next door. Used all the court for that.
Well, now she's down love 4.
30 love.
She's probably just gonna loosen up, and Gauff's got to be aware of that now that Linette has lost all these games in a row, you start to not feel the pressure, and you just start to hit out on the ball. Kind of like that. All of a sudden, well, I have nothing to lose now.
14.
Let it fly.
Yep. And you talk about using the crowd, and you talked about Andy Murray. That first set when Murray got up a break, he just started with that crowd, raising the arms, got that crowd behind him.
Great serve. Service hold to love for Magda Linette to get on the board in this third and deciding set. Can she turn that into something? Or can Gauff shut it down and hold serve and get closer to victory? Gauff is up 4-1 in the deciding third set.
Gauff now, she's got to be aware that she's now, it's kind of Sybil-ish out here. I mean, multiple personalities. In that she now is playing an opponent who a couple minutes ago was just fit to be tied and tight as a drum, and now is playing with nothing to lose. So you've got to be aware that the player that you saw midway through the first set and early in the second set is the player that may reemerge right now.
I had someone say to me once, look, here are the keys to tennis. Awareness, adjustment, and then execution. You could be aware of it unless you know what the adjustment to make is, and then you can execute that. It's not going to help you much.
Very true.
That close.
15-30.
And one of the ways that Gauff can shut the door on Linette is with the first serve.
I think Linette thought that the point went to Gauff.
Yeah.
But was quickly straightened out on that after questioning chair umpire Kelly Thompson of Great Britain. 15-30. And now 30 all.
And that was a very tricky shot for Gauff, and handled that with a plum. That low ball with the forehand. And all that doubles experience she has with playing with Katie McNally, working to approach the net. Executed that beautifully. Oh, but what a return from Linette, and then now gives herself that break back opportunity.
Chance to try and claw back a little bit of ground in this deciding set, create some doubt across the net.
And the one thing we don't see in the women's game enough is our players forcing an opponent to hit a pass. And there Gauff said, I'm going to approach down the middle, and let's see if at this point in the match you can come up with that pass, and she couldn't.
So another break point saved, and we're at deuce.
And that's an area of her game that Gauff is just going to get better and better with.
Play at the net?
Yep.
Yeah.
Misses that one, but Gauff, what she does possess, she possesses the technique on her approaches. She also has good technique on her volleys. And it's something, as her career progresses, she's going to be rewarded for.
This will be a 12th look at a break point in the match for Magda Linette, and a second in this service game. Double fault. And the break goes to Linette to make it 2-4.
4 games to 2, final set.
And make things a little more nervous for Dad in the coaching box.
No, did we really expect it to be completely
No,
smooth sailing
no.
the way this match has gone? That would have been too easy. So Linette and her camp coach Daniil And his wife, Aga Radwanska, looking on.
So for the
15.
player from Poland, can she consolidate the break here, make it 4-3, create a little more pressure on the other side of the net? She's trying to create a little energy for herself here. Stepping to the line quickly to serve. Dirty love.
13 love.
Forty love.
14 love.
And hold to love. And close within a game
Gauff leads by 4
of
games
Coco
to
Gauff.
3.
Magda
Final
Linette
set.
now trailing 4-3 in this third and deciding set.
Dips in play, dips in confidence, regaining confidence.
Looked like Gauff lost that point about 3 times.
And that may be the point
15.
that carries Coco Gauff through this match, and it's her athleticism. And look at how she covers that court and makes Linette play one more shot. And that was tremendous from Gauff. Well, you never give up on a point.
Got to admire the hang in there, the grind on the 29-year-old from Poland. Is not going to give up and go away easily. And is going to make Gauff have to execute to close her out. There's love.
30-50.
They're nervous. And they don't even have any skin in the game
That we know of.
that we know of. But they're fans.
Missed.
40-50.
Linette's kind of been walking around gingerly the last couple of points. And now a couple of points away from going up 5-3 for Coco Gauff.
On
On a day when nothing's come easily for either player in this match. You see the 8th double fault for Coco Gauff. So a game away for the young American. Up 5-3 in this third set.
Gauff leads by 5 games to 3. Final sets.
I was just thinking, we lost the great actor Ed Asner yesterday, and one of his famous lines from the Mary Tyler Moore show to Mary, he said, "You got spunk, kid."
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that's what we see from Gauff. She's got spunk out here. It hasn't been easy, but she's finding a way.
So Magda Linette to serve to try and stay in the match.
think he said, "You got spunk." I don't like
15
spunk, if I remember that correctly.
Absolutely. Lou Grant.
Oh!
Look at some of the numbers on Linette in this match. She has converted only 4 of 12 break points, 30 winners, 41 unforced errors. That's out. And 40 love.
14 love.
Second serve points won. Bit of a number that stands out for Linette. Only 37% in the match.
Oh!
She'll have to win one here on a second serve.
Oh!
14-15.
Fifth double fault of the match. Well, gets the service hold. Will push us on to a 10th game of this third set. And Coco Gauff will serve to try and win the match. And fans here looking to see a 17-year-old American try and close out this match as Coco Gauff serves here at 5-4 in the third. Lost the first set 5-7, won the second 6-3. Magda Linette of Poland on the far side trying to keep it going.
Oh!
No. Love 15.
An auspicious beginning for Gauff. A little over anxious on that backhand. And didn't put a lot on that first serve. Only 80 miles an hour.
After the 118-mile-an-hour serve to start the rally. 15 all.
And a recognition from Gauff that she's got to go after it and is going to have to win this. Got to look at it. That my opponent's not going to hand this to me. A little bit of the forehanditis that we saw earlier creeping back in again in a big moment.
$15-30. Ninth ace of the match. Very timely.
No itis there.
No.
That was just, I've got the confidence in that one and going for it.
So now Linette with a break point chance here at 30-40.
It was a very human Coco Gauff, letting the nerve show on that forehand.
looking moments in that rally.
Deuce.
Tennis match is not a beauty contest. However you get it done.
So the break point saved. We're at deuce. And it's match point for Gauff.
And vintage. Gauff. Thank you.
That would have been too easy.
And Coco Gauff survives to move on in the U.S. Open. 5-7, 6-3, 6-4. 2 hours and 34 minutes over Magda Linette. But Gauff makes it through to a matchup with Sloane Stephens in the second round.